please stand for invocation and pledge the flag.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you today for another day in our city. We ask that you give this Board of Mayor and Commissioners wisdom and guidance as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its people. Bless our city manager, our staff and employees, and most of all our citizens and those in our viewing audience today. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to receive and file the call letter.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion to receive and file the minutes of our special regular meeting, August 13th, 2020, our special regular meeting of August 27th, 2020, our special regular meeting of September 10th, 2020, and our special call meeting of September 11th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearings and reports. We've got a special guest here today, our County Judge Executive, Eric Cheney. And Judge, I know you've got busy schedules. If you'd come up to the podium and welcome. Welcome to the largest city in your county. And let me preface just a little bit from working with you from the time I was elected, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And I think the first time we met, it's usually the first thing I say to a county judge is, you know, we're all Boyd Countyans in Ashland, and I think you remember that. We had that discussion, and you agreed 100% that we need, you know, unity was a big deal, and you haven't let me down, I can tell you that, because we've worked together on many things and met many times. So that relationship, I hope, continues in the future with other people. But I know from my standpoint, it's been a not only a strong professional relationship we've had, but we have developed a friendship, and I appreciate that. And you've been there if the city needed anything, and I hope that we've shown the same thing to you.
Absolutely.
I welcome you here today.
Absolutely. I might switch masks here. I don't know if you can hear me through this one or not. This one's pretty thick. That's a little bit better.
Probably better.
I might take this one with me.
You can have it.
It's yours now.
Yeah. What, you don't want it back? I can put it.
We
You
don't
want it
need it
back?
back.
No. First off, thanks for letting me come down here today. I really appreciate it. Mayor Gilmore, I just want to address you first and say thank you for all the work that you have done over the years. And I'm not talking about just as mayor of Ashland, Kentucky. All the work that you've done over the years for this city, the people of this city, it does not go unnoticed. And I see and have a good friend in you. And I told you a few minutes ago you'll always be my mayor, and that reason is because when I was elected, you know, you were the mayor of Ashland. And I look to you for guidance, and I look to you for support, and you gave it. And I appreciate all the work that you have done, and I wanted to come down here and tell you that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. That doesn't happen much for either one of us, you know.
No, it doesn't. I know the feeling, yeah. Pro Temp Mayor Perkins, it's time, ain't it? It's time. Your time is coming. Your time is right around the corner. You're a few months away. You got big shoes. Yep, you're gonna need those. I promise you that. You got big shoes to fill. You're gonna do a mighty fine job. I'm not worried about that. But the words of Ronald Reagan, me and you, we have a rendezvous with destiny coming up pretty quick. We have a lot of work to get done. The mayor and I right now have worked hand in hand on many projects. There have been some that have divided up. That would be the tourism, but I don't see it as a divide. I see it as two groups now working together for Boyd County and for Ashland. So we have many areas that we can expand off that. The main purpose for me coming down here today is to issue a challenge. And I want to challenge everybody here. whether you're sitting out here, whether you're listening on Facebook Live, and all the commissioners and mayor, let's start thinking outside the box. I challenge you to think outside the box, to find ways that we can find common ground to work together. Because the bottom line is this: whether you're in the city of Ashland, or you're in the city of Catlettsburg, or you're in the rest of the county, we're all Boyd counties, and we're all in this together. And if one of us, if Ashland is successful, Catlettsburg and Boyd County are successful. If Catlettsburg is successful, Boyd County and Ashland are successful. We have to keep that mindset and keep rolling what we have. There are many areas that we can find common ground to not only save taxpayer money, but to help promote Boyd County as a whole. I can tell you something about Ashland, Kentucky. Ashland, Kentucky is the prettiest city in the state of Kentucky. There is nobody that does Christmas like Ashland, Kentucky. There is nobody that has worked as hard in this state to revitalize their city than Ashland, Kentucky. There is a positive future here. There is a positive direction here. And I'm giving you right now an open arm that we need to find ways to work together for economic development purposes, to promote all of Boyd County, to promote Ashland, to promote Catlettsburg. The more we do that, the better chance we survive. You can see what's going on in northern Kentucky right now. It's a definition of unity. Counties working across borders, cities working with counties, cities working with other cities, and they are growing at an exponential rate. We have built and started the foundation, Mayor Gilmore, and we have a good foundation to build off of. So that, I wanted to come here today and issue that challenge. Let's find ways to work together and create more common ground. Thank you all very much. Wish the best of luck to all of you, and you know, if you ever need anything from me, I'm just stone throw away.
We know that, Judge. Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank you very much.
to come, and I know you've said things from your heart. We deeply appreciate that, and we, I know, and under new leadership, he's not there yet, of course, but I have to remind him that every once in a while. But you're going to have good people to work with here. There's no question about it. So, and good luck to you and your leadership in the county.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anybody? Well, let me at least give a little preface for tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to dedicate the new Broadway Square at 16th Street to the citizens of Ashland as a whole. But obviously, our focus is going to be on our downtown businesses, small business in across the country. They're exactly what makes cities work. What make counties work. They're what makes states work. You see them talking more and more on national programs about the impact and the importance of small business. Everybody can't have the big corporations, and there are less and less of those throughout the country. And we actually worked on building this square back when I was mayor before, and Kim Jenkins, our resident artist, our resident landscape artist is what I call her, because she's so creative and everything. But she did a design back in about 2004, 2005, and we were unable to come up with funds to get that off the chart. But this time around, thanks to my finance department and Michelle Beach and Tony Grubb in particular, because over the last several years, they've been able to hold money back in a few programs that we weren't overspending and balancing our budget well, but because they know, and you can look around our town and see things that when we take office, they ask us, we have meetings with city manager, what is it each one of us is looking to do in Ashland? And it may run from enhancing our transportation system. Obviously, we're doing a new sewer treatment plant. We're making major renovations, developments to our existing water plant. Streets, sidewalks. You know, we're going to have a major impact again on downtown streetscape. And this particular project, it's things usually work for a reason, and they work for the best. Had we done it back then, it would not been nearly at the scope that we've ended up doing at this time. And you all are a major player. You've supported, you've put input on that, and I think it's exceeded what I thought it was going to look like. It probably for each of you. You comment as you can, and you can certainly comment tomorrow. But it's become a real gem in our downtown, and you know we do a lot of things in the downtown, and it's the kind of spur to business and getting people involved in returning to downtown to shop and spend their time. Our downtown stretches out 29th Street and it stretches out 13th Street, and our particular downtown stretches to 5th Street, to the Town Center Mall. Most cities, in fact, I've never seen a city like Ashland that would have the major mall development within their city limits. Rare to find. In this particular development, I was on a city commission at the time that worked with the developers to put that in, and one of the things that really got us behind it was because it was going to be in our downtown area. And it all feeds off each other, and merchants will tell you the same thing. I always had this feeling about, and I think other people had the same philosophy, that you get businesses in, and then you're able to develop things for them. You get people back downtown. And when we brought Roger Brooks in, the manager and I were able to see him for his first visit in Kentucky and in northern Kentucky at a KLC convention, and we felt like he was talking to us about, you know, revitalizing small town America. And we stayed with it, got him to come into town, and got a grant from our local power company to pay his expenses to come in. And one of the first things he talked about, well, you got to have a central place in your community that people can kind of draw to. And I said, well, we're working on it. You know, we haven't started yet, but we're working on it because we've had the plans, we had the designs, we showed him where it was going to be, we showed him the drawings, and he said, that's it. That's what you do. He said, and people who came to his first public meeting at the hotel, and he did that unbelievable PowerPoint that all of us could relate to, and cities larger than us, cities smaller than us, that in different cities across the country, they maybe took an old service station and either tore it down or used the facility but spread the parking area and all that and made a place that people in the community could come to and draw to that would get them in the downtown area. His philosophy was, and he's an expert, written books, actually done this internationally. You bring people downtown, you will bring more business in town. And I think he knew exactly what he was talking about. And little by little, and it isn't a leap and bound kind of type of thing, but it's going to take a little bit of time. But we have so many solid businesses right now in Ashland. And this particular block is bigger than I thought we would have, and obviously it's more beautiful than I thought it would have. And I think it's going to be that little nucleus area, that little iconic part of your immediate downtown that's going to draw people down here. You know, one of the things that goes with that, we've talked about some of these things before, but I don't think we can say it enough, is to have as much activity on that Broadway Square as we possibly can have, to get families, kids, everything down there using theater, music, the arts, cultural activities, public events, speeches, whatever the case may be, to and have a lot of games and activities there, which we're planning to do now, and making all this happen. Make it an inviting place to come, and then hopefully you will shop and enjoy your downtown. We're going to honor some businesses tomorrow. I am, for sure. I know you're going to be there with me to do it. You know, we have I thought I'd get just a little bit of a cross-section of the type of businesses that we have. I could go, at my age, I can go through a whole litany of the old stores, and a lot of people may or not be watching would remember or not remember them, but and name at least for a while in town 5 movie theaters we had, and it cost 10-15 cents to go. You can figure out when that was. But I'm going to have Clayton Hill, who's about a sixth generation of Pollock's jewelry store, and he's going to help cut the ribbon with you all tomorrow. Pollock's is the best of my research, and working with them is probably the oldest store in our business district. They moved out of the immediate business district, but they're still on Winchester Avenue between 9th and 10th. So we still consider them downtown Ashland. They started in 1874. They're probably the oldest business in the whole tri-state. Not sure about that, but I know they're the oldest business in Ashland. Still successful. Still, you know, one of the best places you can go for jewelry, silverware, or glassware, whatever. Very successful. It's in the sixth generation with Clayton. Betty Koros with Don's Men's Shop is going to help us cut the ribbon tomorrow. And she and her husband Don started that store in 1949. And I can remember them forever. You know, my Uncle Joe bought my first suit at Don's. Parents couldn't afford to buy me a suit, but my Uncle Joe was single and working in Armco. He bought my first suit there, a nice gray herringbone, Council Moore. I really looked great in it. I think I was a freshman in high school, as a matter of fact, but I was pretty proud of it. So I was a long time, you know, more of a looker at Don's windows and all that, but ended up shopping there. Two of the most delightful people you'd ever know in your whole life, and I'm glad they've been on my journey with me, and Betty's been just unbelievable. I'm going to have E.B. Jevenin be a ribbon cutter tomorrow. To begin with, he was on this committee I put together, Commissioner Perkins, you know, to kind of bring that square along, and E.B. is probably now Clayton Hill, who's sixth generation of Pollock's, hometown boy. Betty and Don Koros, hometown Ashlanders. They were here as long as I can remember. So they started that store in '49. E.B. Jevenin is a hometown boy. I taught him in school. He's been on the park board with me for many years. He's currently chairman of the park board, and he was on a committee I put together to be a quasi committee overseeing this square. I think Commissioner Perkins headed it up for me, as I recall, and they did a wonderful job. Dr. Jevenin has probably put the largest individual investment in the immediate downtown of Ashland than anybody that I've ever known. And as he says many times when he first called me, and he said, "Mayor, I'm gonna buy the old G.C. Murphy building." He said, "I don't have to do that. I don't need to do that. I'm about ready to retire. I'm about ready to just kind of sit back and relax," which he will never do. I said, "That would be great, E.B., because I know you will turn it into something special." And many of us have been all through it, and he has turned it into something special. And he does have, I think, his first renter lined up, or leaser, to come in pretty soon, hopefully before the holidays, but it's going to be a really neat place he's bringing in. He's working with several companies, and he's going to fill that place up. It's right in the heart of our downtown, and it's going to be part of our prior streetscape program, where we, at some point, if we get the angle parking, we'll have bump outs that take you back and forth across between 15th and 6th Street for shoppers, for whatever, to have easier access. We had that planned for several years. But EB is going to help us cut that ribbon. Three important people, small business people, which is the heart of any city. If your downtown is healthy, your city's healthy. And I can't emphasize enough to those people that might be watching and that live out in our neighborhoods, and many are retired or whatever. We are able to keep our taxes lower, our fees lower, the better our downtown does. So it's significant and important to us to bring businesses in, you know, constantly have our economic development department working with trying to recruit new businesses. And we feel with an addition like Broadway Square, you bring people in town, usually quality of life issues are what they look at. And they do look at Central Park, unbelievable park in a town our size. Now they're going to see Broadway Square right downtown to enhance and make an inviting place for people to come to our downtown. Our sculptures on the Port of Ashland, I mean, small town America like us, and we have those iconic points of interest just in our downtown. So this commission, as always, from day one, been committed to developing our downtown, developing more business opportunities, more employees downtown, fueling the economy in downtown. And we'll continue to do that. And I'm going to recognize those people tomorrow, and they're kind of representative of many of the businesses, but I think when you're able to put people up that have been in business so long and are survivors and are still doing well, then you bring somebody like Dr. Jevitin in, who's put untold hundreds of thousands of dollars in the old G.C. Murphy building, and when you get a chance to visit there, you'll see what I mean. He's restored it. He didn't change it. He doesn't make it look like a modern building. He took the tin ceilings and redid them. He did the hardwood floors. He redid them. He left some tile there that were over, as some people will remember, the fountain area. Huge row of stools for that fountain that they had. It was the place to go in Ashland at lunchtime, I know. But, you know, and all of that is restored, but he didn't change anything. He just made everything look better. I think you'll be amazed when you see it, and he's going to make that a real hub of downtown activity. And it's going to tie in. Obviously, he's another one of the businesses that's thrilled that we put Broadway Square in. I talked for a couple days about it and other things we've done. We've got Destination Ashland that tomorrow, she may want to say something today, I don't know, but tomorrow Commissioner Clark is just going to bring the public up a little bit more on what they've been doing to create our identity in a stronger way as an inviting place to do business, inviting place to raise your family, as it's always been that, because of the safety and security of Ashland. If you want to say anything right now, feel free.
That's all right, you're good.
You're going to hold it all?
I'll hold on.
Well, Manager, if I missed anything in our work with Brooks, or it's an important day for us tomorrow to do this ribbon cutting of one of our own city facilities, and I'm not going to steal any thunder from something that Commissioner Clark may say tomorrow. So what I'm going to say is what I usually talk about Central Park. Our citizens think Central Park is part of their yard, and it is. It belongs to all of our citizens, and I want them to feel the same way about this Broadway Square. When we get the fountains will be on after our dedication. They have a light show in the fountains that are going to be phenomenal at Christmas time in particular, and I think they're going to consider that as something that an investment in their city that they're going to be proud of for many years to come. We've done some great things, folks. This commission has been outstanding to work with, and I have more to say about them later, but committed to doing the right thing for our citizens. And these folks down here not only answer calls and go to homes, and they're on it. They call me, they come in, they're representing the citizens like commissioners should. And then the big decisions that we make, they research, they listen, they weigh all the facts, and they're helping make, no one person doesn't do anything down here. And people need to understand that. And I am so fortunate that I've had a team of commissioners that, Ms. Henry, when you came on board, all you did was come in running right along. And you've been a great asset to us from day one. But as I said, one person doesn't screw everything up, and one person doesn't get the championship trophy. It's as a group, and you guys have been the best people I could ever choose to work with, and I served many years down here with Commission. You're outstanding, and I respect you, and I feel fortunate to have been working with you this period of time, and I'm still the mayor of January 1. Unless my dear friend at the end is thinking I'm leaving early or something.
You're more than welcome to keep it an extra 4 years.
But listen, time will go quick, and I want you to say, I got to throw in that the city staff that we've had, and our finance department, Michelle, you carried to Tony, phenomenal, unbelievable to work with. Susan, you've been here longer than I have, No, you haven't. But good gosh, what a treasure our city clerk is. But we have developed what openings have been. We developed better staff, you know, coming in, and Sean helps the HR part. Manager, you hit the ground running. You're the most tireless worker I've ever seen in the city manager's office, and I've worked with a number. Focus, sometimes to a fault. That's okay. Told you that. Move around sometimes to a fault, but I like that. And I've told him this aside, one-on-one, that it's so much easier to be the mayor, to be an elected office here, when every once in a while you need to pull him back a little bit instead of have to push him or kick him all the time, which that never happens here. You came in with energy, enthusiasm, and if I didn't know better, I know your wife's a homie, I would have said you were born and raised right here. And I say that as a high compliment, because this guy is focused on protecting and improving everything we have in the city. So we couldn't have got a better replacement for Sonny Martin and Jim Moore, and he will keep us all in line, and he has been. He's very thoughtful and careful about how he keeps me in line. You almost make it sound like it's my idea to maybe not do that. I'm proud of everybody down here, and this isn't my swan song, trust me, but I'll have more to say, but I will. I mean, this is just a wonderful time to be alive. I thank all of you for being on my journey with me. City manager's report. We can't even get a microphone that works. There's Michelle.
But, Mayor, at the risk of, I think you just captured everything spot on.
Oh, you just say that.
There's no way that you can cover everybody, but the point that you made, that this vision for the downtown is existing previously. Just this is the timing, for example, on Broadway Square. And so I think there's people that have bought into the Brooks vision. If you want to call it that. I know there was a similar effort, you know, a couple decades ago that for whatever reason didn't catch track. But similarly, I think there's other people, you know, you think of the folks that are new to downtown, WITS, I mean, that's been such a great success, pretty poised what they've done. They saw that new vision, if you will. But then there's other people that saw it before this new vision came out. And at the risk of leaving anybody out, you know, the investment Paul Castle's done, Gerardo down with the studio. I mean, there's just, so it's a really great combination of all this coming together. And Mayor, your point about the Broadway Square being that place for activities, you know, Roger's term was the community's living room. And I just hope our community understands, and I know they do, the vision for this and the activities, those 240 activities a year, so that people say, hey, let's go downtown and see what's going on. We've been hamstrung by COVID. I mean, you'll see it tomorrow. The original vision of what you all wanted to do has got to be tampered back for all of the right reasons. So there's a lot of very talented, educated, creative people that are chomping at the bit to take what you all have put together, what you all had the intestinal fortitude to support, and just really exponentially grow and have positive impacts. And it's not just about the downtown, it's that ink spot that just grows throughout the city. And like the judge said, what's good for Ashland is good for Catlettsburg, it's good for the county, and inevitably good for the state. So at the risk of ruining anything that you talked about, I just wanted to add that. Nothing else on the business side. I did want to point out that today is Chief Kelly's birthday. I think he's 24 years old today. So happy birthday, Todd. Mayor, Commissioners, that's all I have.
Thanks, Manager. I don't want to overlook my PIO officer, Michelle Grubb back there, who I don't think I've asked her to do or try to do or get anything since she came on board that she didn't deliver. And she's had so much to do with getting this Broadway Square to look even better than the contractors did, because she's got a vision too. She's smart as smart can be, and works tirelessly, and we appreciate that. I mean, as I said, it takes so many people to make things like this happen. And Manager, I appreciate you mentioning that we did have a big deal planned several months ago for this dedication. and a lot of activity, a lot of stuff that we've taken out because it'll be a little subdued because of COVID, and where anyone can come that chooses. We would ask you to have a mask and have you to social distance. I'd love for people to come and observe this. It's a pretty momentous time for our downtown, but I understand if they don't, and I want them to understand we would love to have you there, but our number one goal is safety and health of our citizens. And we will do a brief ceremony and do a ribbon cutting, and we'll be done with that. But I do know that there are some safe social distance masking in order activities. Will be starting mid-afternoon to the evening tomorrow, and it'll all come out. I know the paper's going to help us a little bit with that, but Saturday's got a full schedule. I think even tomorrow night there's a little musical event. It's going to be on the stage on Broadway Square, and that's great. And having My Town TV about 50 feet from Broadway Square, I think they love that too. They don't have to pull car in, out, go do this, do that. So we appreciate that. I don't want to leave out one key central figure, which I will be talking about tomorrow, but Andrew Jones, the president of Community Trust Bank. And Andrew is a homie, and it's great that he's in that role, and he's been with us, and you can imagine needing to work closely with them, and they've done, they've stepped up to the plate financially. They stepped up to the plate with some property to work with us on to help make this happen. And they've been throughout the construction period. We've done everything in our power, and I think DevCon, which I intend to talk about tomorrow, they did an unbelievable job. And also in dealing with the clerk's office, with Speedy Signs, the other businesses down to Carter Avenue, making sure it's as orderly as possible for them to stay in business. And the bank, we had to do the same thing, and people will notice that the bank has gone ahead and redone the front walk in front of their bank at our kind of request, because we're going to go on down with our streetscape. We're going to complete these blocks, but right now with it right next to our Broadway Square, it was such a contrast, and they've made it beautiful, and we appreciate that from Andrew. But he was there beginning, he was on the committee for us, and he's been unbelievable to work with, because he has the same goals and motives that we have. What can we do for our community to make it a better place to live and more inviting place to be? So Andrew Jones, Community Trust Bank, you're a major partner in this development, and we appreciate it. Council, consent agenda.
Consent agenda, Mayor, a resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the special regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of September 24, 2020.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Item 2. I'm sorry.
New business.
New business, item A.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Southern Ohio Trenching and Excavating for the CIPP Point Repairs Project in the amount of $101,241 for the Department of Engineering.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item B.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and approving change order number 7 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and DevCon, Inc., increasing the contract amount by $2,455 and extending the contract completion date to October 26, 2020 regarding the Broadway Square renovation project for the Department of Engineering.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item C.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending Part 5 Compensation Plan C Hours of Work and Part 6 Benefits C Vacation of the Policies and Procedures Compensation Plan and Classification Plan as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, as previously amended, and repealing ordinance number 8, series of 1962, as amended by ordinance number 57, series of 1986.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item D.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and American Suncraft Company, Inc. for the Summit Tank Interior Painting and Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $493,504 for the Department of Engineering."
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item E.
A reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute and submit the request and agreement for the 2021 Litter Abatement Program grant funding through the Kentucky Department for Environmental Protection, Division of Waste Management for the Division of Street Maintenance."
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a question.
Sure.
So this grant funding request, have we already been approved for it?
We had one from last year, Commissioner, that you saw, I'm sure everybody's seen on social media. We hired 2 seasonal workers to go out and do. So this is for the same grant for next year.
Okay.
And there's another beauty of this, there's no matching grants, it's just a straight out grant.
So there'll be Port of Ashland, Broadway Square, wherever else we need them.
They've tackled some areas that I think everybody notices as we drive around town where there just
Yep.
happens to be a lot of litter. You all know Jackie's tracking it. When they're done with this grant, they'll have some statistic that'll say how many pounds or bags or whatever, because he does a really excellent job of measuring that, and I'll share that
Great.
with you all.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like. Item F.
Reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the City of Greenup, Kentucky, authorizing Ashland officers and Greenup officers to exercise their powers throughout both Ashland and Greenup County in order to combat illegal activity."
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item G.
Reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the City of Bellefonte, Kentucky, authorizing Ashland officers and Bellefonte officers to exercise their powers throughout both Ashland and Bellefonte in order to combat illegal activity.
Any discussion? Let me just say, Chief, you and your department and everything you've been doing to keep our city safe, everything you're doing to eliminate a lot of problem areas that come into Ashland and developing it doesn't go unnoticed, certainly by us or by citizens, I hope. And we appreciate everything that our department's doing. We support our APD fully and the professionalism that you've ensured and continue to keep at a high level. We appreciate that. You know, at a time when we see a whole lot of detrimental actions and comments and so forth, you can find that anywhere. In any organization, you can find that. We escape that at this point, and we feel like we have a sterling operation with our APD. But I think too many times, and as I tell them, when we got a group of policemen here, a group of firemen, when people really take you for granted, that's a compliment. You know, it's not like, oh, well, I think it's a compliment that they have high expectations, and we deliver them. And seeing a lot of things that we're seeing on TV, it makes us more appreciative of how we conduct business in Ashland, Kentucky, in the area of law enforcement. I know. I know you are. And again, you strap it on, you go out every morning, that means that something bad could easily happen anytime. So, highest respect for you all. Thank you. Before I adjourn, I do want to mention that we're going to... Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? We're going to adjourn this meeting, but we're going to meet another special regular meeting tomorrow at 11:30, so we'll be here right before we go to the dedication. to do a second reading, but most importantly, we're under a time constraint over a grant to the Ashland Airport in Worthington. I'm on the executive board at FIVCO, and we approved it Monday in a meeting as executive board, but they're going to get $750,000 for a totally new lighting system. Am I right, Council?
That's correct, Mayor. Yes, I think it's on maybe even $790,000 grant
Yeah.
from the FAA.
And it's one of those things, and Judge Cheney, he's got to take care of it in the county. Anybody related to that, involved in that airport, has to have an official document, that has been voted on by the commission. So that's the main reason we're coming back in tomorrow at 11:30 for that meeting
The FAA doesn't give us much turnaround time on that is the problem, and
to
so
approve that.
we got it as soon as we could, but that's why we need the special meeting for that.
Okay, and then we're going to come back at 1:30 for another special meeting. A call letter will be coming out, and the media will be notified for, I guess, one item on.
It may be at 2 o'clock, Mayor. I see the city clerk rolling her eyes. She's still got to get that notice out, served within
Whatever
24-hour
makes
notice.
Whatever makes
Susan,
24 hours.
whatever makes 24 hours, we're going to live by it.
Yeah, so
Okay?
it may be 2 o'clock. She'll try for 1:30, but it may end up being 2.
Okay. Manager, you got anything to say about it?
No, that's just one mention.
Okay. Okay. All right. Motion adjourned? We're adjourned. Thank you all. Judge Cheney, thank you. You're always welcome here.